Red meat
Yeah, that's good.
causes cancer. Fatty meat causes heart disease. Meat consumption causes global warming. Eating too much protein is bad for your kidneys. Eat less meat, more vegetables if you don't want to get constipated. Who doesn't know that eating a lot of meat is not only going to be bad for your health, but also the health of our planet? But apparently, there are still some people who still decide to incorporate a large amount of meat in their diet, despite knowing all of these. Some people even pretty much just only eat meat. So what exactly is going on here? Like, oh, my brain hurts so much. Anyways, I'm going to be talking with one of those crazy meat eaters today. And let's just try to be calm, be patient, be open minded, be respectful, and listen to what this guy has to say. Okay, I need to reveal my true identity now. Otherwise, it's going to be too hard for me to do this interview politely. So, my name's Leo. I'm a Kendama player from Taiwan, and I actually have been pretty much only eating meat for about 20 months now. So, I'm not really against what this guy is doing. And I actually really support him because he's one of the best Kendama players in the world. So, that's pretty amazing. So, Zack, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. Please give us a quick introduction of yourself first. And to give you a direction, I want you to touch on at least these three things. So your height and weight, where you are from, and what you have been working on.
Got it. Okay. Hey guys, I'm Zack Gallagher, professional Carnivore player. Playing Carnivore 12 years. That's my main background. I am 183 pounds. I'm 82 kilograms. That's the last time I weighed. And then I'm 5'10", and in centimeters, that's 177.8 centimeters. So that's there. There's that. And what I've been working on recently, well, I moved to Florida recently to move in with a lot of awesome, cool guys that I connected with online. They're all I'm an ATG coach, which is like knees over toes guy stuff. A lot of people know knees over toes guy, and moving to a lot of coaches, and we're all actually trying to start our own like businesses. Exactly. So that's exactly what we're doing. And in terms of what I'm working on right now, yeah, just I don't want to say anything yet, but in terms of the kendama world, I'm working pretty hard with my brother on creating something to offer the kendama world and hopefully benefit a lot of people in the kendama. So that's what I'm working on.
Perfect. Do you want to give us a warning check first?
Oh, what?
A
Oh,
warning
Whirlwind
check.
check.
Preferably triple warning check.
Okay.
Wow! It's a little bit out of frame, but I saw it. I saw. Oh, damn! What the hell? Oh my god! Oh my god! This guy is really professional.
I can't do
Okay,
this.
okay, perfect. So, I guess we should get to the main topic now. So,
Yeah.
Zach, can you tell us what your current diet is like?
Yeah. So I primarily eat. This is what I primarily eat: red meat and fruit. And and mostly the things I eat within that as well is going to be butter, salt, honey, and that is it. That is literally it. So that's pretty much all I eat. My favorite thing to eat every day is I always eat the same thing. It's going to be ground beef with some butter, salt, and honey. And then later, for my last meal of the day, I have steak. Oh, and eggs. Steak, eggs, butter, salt, and some fruit. So that's what I eat every day. I love it, and yeah, that's what I'm currently eating right now.
How much eat would you say you are eating on a daily basis?
Great question. So how much meat I'm eating? I'm eating anywhere between. I'm eating at the very least, 3 pounds. At the most, it's very rare that I go for four. That I go to 4 pounds, but it's between 3 and 3.5 pounds.
Okay. So
Yeah.
apparently, like, I really wonder how your parents raised you because, like, they didn't tell you that eating a lot of meat is bad for you and eating vegetables is super important. Like, I really wonder. So, can you tell us about your like childhood diet? Like, what kind of food were you provided, and what information were you told?
Yeah. So, information when I was a kid, I wasn't really looking at anything. I've kind of relied. I think this is why it's a really important job as a parent to try your best for your kids in terms of providing food because you're the parents are the providers of the food, right? In like 95% of the situations. So I wasn't aware of anything. I was just eating what was there for me, and what was there for me was um, so I'll start it with the beginning. So at the beginning, my entire family was probably just eating like shit. Like honestly, we were eating a lot of boxed foods. A lot of I was eating a lot of pizza, a lot of um, just like easy microwavable food you buy from the store. It's quick. I was going to school, then I had soccer practice right after. We would have games, stuff like this. So very quick meals. I would get home cooked meals too, but it wasn't like I'm talking like grilled cheese, tomato soup. We had very sometimes we did have steak, but it was funny because I didn't like it actually. I didn't like love it. Like I wasn't. And then we also had we had a decent amount of vegetables. We had um, man, like it's hard for me to remember all the way back then, but I had a lot of processed foods, I had a lot of boxed foods, all that stuff. And then actually, how my eating kind of like transformed a little bit was my mom. Again, this is going back to I'm eating what my parents are going to provide me, right? So my mom was diagnosed with like basically celiac, which is a severe gluten and dairy intolerance. Or that's how my mom was affected by it. So she started to not eat dairy and not eat gluten. And so I started to stop. She started to, and naturally, when you cut out those things, you start paying attention a little more. You have to pay attention, or else you don't want to feed yourself stuff that's gonna like you're super intolerable to. So she's starting to bring, and this will bring you to probably a better food choice and a better eating decision than the common Western diet, right? So she starts bringing in generally more like healthy stuff. Like I don't know, like she's instead of eating like waffles and pancakes for breakfast in the morning, she's having like smoothies or something, like smoothies like with protein powder and like fruit and vegetables and stuff, so she's eating that. And so now I'm kind of getting curious. I'm like, okay, at first I was like, oh, your life sucks. I was like, your life sucks. You can't have shit. That sucks. I was like, oh my God, you can't ever have pizza again. Your life sucks. But I was more curious and more curious. And I kind of started eating the way she was eating. I can't exactly remember what I was doing, but I mean, this is just what she was doing. Not saying this is the way, but like she stopped eating cheese because she couldn't have dairy. I stopped eating cheese like for a little, not in all cases, but I just was like, oh, maybe I'll just try it without cheese, or like I'll have gluten free bread or something. Just stuff like this. Like I'm seeing my mom like switch her eating habits. I want to. I'm mirroring her as a child. I'm mirroring her, so like I'm doing the same thing she's doing. Goes to that. And keep in mind, like I'm still eating ice cream. I mean, I'm still eating. I was addicted to sugary foods, and like as we're supposed to be. If we're consuming them, they're designed to have those. So I'm over here cookies, cupcakes, ice cream, all the shit, all this stuff, like all as much as I can get it. This evolved, and so I'm eating this way consistently now throughout until I'm like 18. Okay, and 18 should I keep going with my transformation? Should I keep going with this
I have
or
some questions now. I have some questions
yeah, go
now.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Um. So, like, did your parents tell you any information about food? Like, for example, maybe processed food is bad for you, but maybe it's okay to have a little, or like vegetables are super important. Meat, eating a lot of meat is best. Things like those. Tell me about this.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I actually don't remember any time of my parents saying, "Okay, this is actually really good. This is really good." I think what my parents were following for a long time, what I was eating was just like what was brought to them in their mind is like the mainstream media of like this is like the right food to eat or like this is good. Like obviously we knew we were still eating like pizza and stuff and like ice cream. Like we obviously know those aren't the foods to eat, but we're just eating them. But they didn't. I never had any rules in my mind. I never had any rules in my mind
Mm,
of like, oh wait, I shouldn't. This is what I need to prioritize. This is what I shouldn't. I just kind of knew like that junk food was junk food, and like everything else that I perceived as regular was like, all right, this is the way. The one thing I do remember though, we didn't really ever have soda in our house, so it took a while because like whenever I go to my friend's house and they had soda, I would just chug them, you know. But the one thing I remember, we never had soda in our house, so yeah, that's the one thing.
Okay, so I think you were like in your childhood, you were following your instincts based on the food you were provided because like
Yes.
people didn't really give you any rules. So, what did you think about vegetables and fruits instinctively?
Yeah, so fruits good, vegetables kind of like shit. Like I don't want to eat that. Like I don't want to eat
Oh,
vegetables. That's instinctively as like my body telling me like fruits like I'll pound fruit. Like I'll pound fruit. Like that's what my body like that's what my body's like telling me is good. And then like vegetables like I never wanted to eat vegetables, you know? I never wanted to. I worked up to a place where I was eating them, you know, for a while, but like I didn't want to eat them. There was no vegetable on planet Earth that I was like, "Yep, I want to eat that." Like, no. Uh, but yeah,
yeah. So, why did you want to kind of like force yourself to eat vegetables when your parents didn't really tell you that you should eat vegetables?
yeah. Well, I will say, of course, if I'm at like a family dinner table and like with like at a holiday get together, my if I'm with my family like for like Thanksgiving or something, like they're gonna be like, you have to eat your vegetables. But so I
Oh,
was getting told that sometimes, but not really in like my daily life. But
uh,
what I used so like barely throughout the year, but like but it was there. But what got me to kind of force myself into eating vegetables was because that was the thing that was known. You know, that's the right thing to do. By just I'm in my mind that was like the right thing to do for like life. You know, I need to eat vegetables.
mm,
I need to get these in. These are like the health foods. These are going to make me feel
mm,
good. These are good for my health, even though I'm hating eating them.
mm,
And of course, there are ways to make vegetables taste better by adding stuff to them and whatever, all that stuff. But like
mm.
naturally, like I'm literally like I don't want to eat them, but I know they're good, so I have to eat them. If that makes sense. Also,
So
sometimes I would
people.
have to eat them in order to get dessert, so I would eat them I would
Oh,
eat them so
okay,
I could
okay,
eat cake. You know, like
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I guess people didn't really tell you that eating vegetables are super important, but everyone was just eating vegetables, and maybe they felt weird not to do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was the classic like just by society and just by the rules, the rules of you know how people are supposed to eat and what's majorly conceived as or perceived as healthy. Like I knew in my mind, based off everything that I was seeing as a kid, that vegetables were like that's like I have to eat them. But like I don't want to. Like I don't want like the stigma was like, yeah, you have to eat your vegetables, like make sure you're eating your vegetables. But like me personally, I didn't like any vegetables that much, so I just wouldn't want to. But I knew like from society, everything I was seeing, all the commercials, all the stuff, I'd be like, yeah, I want to eat them, or I have to eat them. Yeah,
Okay, okay. So we cover fruits and vegetables. Oh, what about meat? You mentioned that you didn't really like steak. What did you think about meat or like fatty meat, red meat?
yeah. So it's funny because I never a lot of people that I've met now will be like, oh, like red meat, it's like I gotta stop eating it so much. You know, I gotta cut the fat off. I got to cut the fat off red meat. I never actually got that when I was a kid. I never really even nobody even told me that. Like I never once was like, yep, I got it. Well, I used to cut the fat off my red. I used to cut the fat off. That's what I actually used to do that. But I never got told like, oh, red meat's gonna kill you. Like I never thought like that. I always thought it was just, but I never thought anything like great of it. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna eat it. I don't know why I didn't like the steak when I was younger. Like, I don't know why I didn't. I just wasn't liking it. But um, but yeah, I mean, for as far as meat, like I was eating chicken. I love chicken. I love turkey. Just like, oh my god, it's actually funny talking about this because all I used to eat was just super lean, like meats that were like birds, like chicken, turkey. That was
Mm,
like all I was eating. That's pretty much all I was eating. Really lean bird meat. So yeah,
okay, okay. So were you eating like as much as you want? Like, given that you were provided enough meat.
I mean, yeah, like I mean, I could eat as much as I want, but I didn't want that much food. I was just kind of eating as a kid, right? It wasn't until I started like training, like doing like working out and stuff, where I was like actually thinking about food. I'm just going off my body, like what is there for me, you know, which is fine, obviously, but like I was just eating. I never thought about like, am I eating enough? I literally was just like, which is like I'm blessed to like think that, I was blessed, to have that. But like I'm just eating food. I finish a meal that my mom or dad made for me, and then I just go do something else. Like that was it. So I did feel like I was
Okay.
getting enough. Yeah, I feel like I was eating enough. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
I see. I see.
yeah,
So I guess we can move on to the next stage in your diet journey now. So we just covered the first stage in your diet journey, your childhood diet. What was
yeah,
the next stage like? And what was the mindset behind the change?
yeah, dude.
Did you just
So
did you just did you just go like pretty much only eating meat, or there was some stages in between?
oh, there was definitely a stage in between, a huge stage
Uh huh.
actually.
Okay.
So again, so yeah, so how I was eating previously, that was up until when I was 18 years old. Okay. So at this point, I I was working at a candy shop, and this is the kind of transition. So I was working at a candy shop, and I would eat. This is how bad it was. By the way, I'm already not thinking of how I'm feeling. I'm not conscious of how I'm feeling, how food affects how I feel. I'm not conscious of like getting good sleep, any habits that are like even remotely healthy, to be honest with you. I don't care. I wasn't conscious of taking care of myself. Now I'm working at a candy shop, and now I'm eating candy as much candy as I want, like all the good shit, like sour gummy bears, like chocolate truffles, jelly, like fucking candy corn, all this stuff. Like I'm eating just as unlimited, bro, unlimited. And even back then, and I'm coming from a place where I didn't care about any of that stuff. Even back then, when I was eating this amount of candy, I felt like shit already compared to what I was doing before. So that's how bad it was, dude. That's how bad it was. So that's what actually caused me to stop eating so much candy, because I was eating so much of it. And so that's when I was 17. And when I was 18, I kind of was like, okay, like I'll drink water more. Like I'll drink water only. And so that's when I started drinking water only. But when I entered college, was this is the huge thing. I started I knew I wanted to eat healthy, and I don't know why. I don't know why I did. But I'm happy that I decided to. And I think actually it was because I was watching a lot of motivational videos online and stuff, and a lot of people like running and like have great like physiques and stuff. And I was like, okay, so I wanted to eat healthy to get to like look like that. So what I was eating was a shit ton of vegetables, like a ton of vegetables, um, some chicken, lean meat like turkey, like fruits, and maybe some nut butters, like peanut butter, almond butter, these things, and nothing really much more than that I can remember. What I did, Leo, was I made up a in my mind what foods were healthy. So I just posted about this too. I had a really bad relationship with food and exercise. So I was obsessed with eating healthy food, and healthy to me meant like vegetables, seeds, lean meat, not red meat, like definitely not red meat, but it was like turkey, chicken, um, eggs, and like that's it. Like pretty much that's it. And so I would only stick to these foods. And when I was exposed to junk food, or was had like a cookie like offered to me, I would like freak out. I would like freak out. So now like you can see like I transitioned to eating like overall like like a better, like a healthier like version of what I would like option than what I was eating prior, like for sure, like 100%. But my relationship with food was horrible. Like I was really scared to eat like junk food, and then when I did, I would just binge. So I would just eat a ton of it. So I was on that for a bit. My relationship with food got a lot better, but it slowly evolved. Now I'm training more and more. And so like now I'm getting more into this stuff, and my eating's evolving with that. So I changed to now I'm eating more protein because I want to get like stronger and stuff and more muscle and whatever. And I'm coming from a really skinny person, right? I'm coming from a really skinny version of myself. So now I'm eating a ton of oatmeal, a ton of eggs, a lot of protein powder, and yeah, man, I mean, I was eating a lot of oatmeal. I'm talking like 170 grams of oatmeal every morning. That is a lot of oatmeal, bro. That's a lot. Nobody should be eating that much oatmeal. Well, you can if you want, but like it's not going to be good for your digestion. Okay, like it's not going to be good. Just going off experience. But yeah, man, like I switched. I wanted to eat a lot of protein. I wanted to eat a lot of protein. So now my prioritization is protein, which yeah, like level up, like honestly. So but like a ton of oatmeal, eggs, like a ton of chicken at lunch. Now I was more getting into like bodybuilder esque like food. So now they're eating a lot of rice, they're eating a lot of chicken. Like I make sure I eat like avocados. I'm obsessed with getting more protein and like more calories in. So these are the two things I'm focusing on. So now instead of like vegetables and seeds and stuff, I'm eating chicken, oatmeal, fruits, not really that many vegetables. Like I still was, but not a ton. What else? Yogurt, any protein source you can kind of think of. I was eating it. Sweet potatoes. Um, yeah, man. Like classic, like spinach and broccoli for my vegetables because that's what a lot of like bodybuilders were eating. These things, and I was eating a lot like this throughout my entire for like 4 years straight up for like 4 years. So that's what I was eating. Enter now that this past year, which has been really transformational for me.
Okay.
One, I started,
I think
yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah,
because you are going to start talking about your pretty much only meat eating diet, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So I have some questions around that. So let me
Okay.
ask some questions first about what you just shared.
Yes.
So you kind of share like two stages, I think. Like the first
Mhm.
stage was like you started to try to eat more healthily. So I think you started to notice how bad processed food was. So you started to try to limit your processed food intake, but maybe because your diet wasn't very satisfying, so you were still eating processed food from time to time. That was the first stage. What about the like second stage? You mentioned that you were eating more protein and more
No.
oatmeal and less vegetables. So in that stage, did you start to eat less or even no processed food, or it was pretty much the same when it comes to controlling your urge?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, so it was yeah, I wasn't really eating processed food for honestly a long time. I've been really dialed on like not eating and really, being comfortable with not eating processed food and ultra processed food for a long time. I'll say ultra processed food because some foods that like I've been eating are processed, like protein powder is processed, right? Like I mean, I was eating that every day. But ultra processed food, like the classic junk, box foods, all this stuff, I for a long time, for many years, like I've been really comfortable with the choice not to eat these foods. So I've been dialed for a while on that. But yeah, in that stage, I wasn't really eating any crazy stuff like any ultra processed food like that often. Like sometimes for sure, but like not really that often. And I've never
Okay.
also been one to drink alcohol either. Like, yeah, for sure.
Mm.
I've but like anything substances, anything like that never made those never made it their way in to like diet or consumption or anything. So yeah,
But
yeah,
did you have to try relatively hard to say no to those things, or it was like
yeah.
not that hard?
No, I mean, I'd say it was for sure hard at the beginning because at the beginning I was like, oh man, like what's a good example? I mean, like I wouldn't believe I was like, okay, I want to stay away from this, but then I'd buy something at the store that was like a healthified version of like a candy bar, like a healthified or like a healthier version of something that's like pretty much candy, but it's like advertised as like normal food. A lot of protein bars are like that. A lot of protein bars are just like, here's the protein bar, it has 20 grams of protein, but it's literally a candy bar, pretty much.
Processed
Yeah,
junk in disguise.
yeah, literally. And also, dude, it's really funny. I used to be addicted to chewing gum. So I used to really love that artificial sweetener. I would go through like a pack of gum a day, which would be like 24 sticks. So I would chew 24 sticks of gum in one day. That was like a 4 or 5 month period, but no, that was like a year. I'm sorry. That was like that was a full year. But yeah. So overall, it was hard at first a little bit, but over time it became easier and easier to choose not to, I'm going to choose to prioritize like these foods that I think are like benefiting me. And then I'm going to not choose to eat these foods over here, cookies, ice cream, all this stuff, because I know they won't like benefit me or like make me feel
Mm,
good. So that's where I was at. Yeah.
I guess you had a clearer goal, like you knew that what you wanted, so it was easier for you to make decisions.
Yeah, 100%. Because yeah, I think what really helped me was training. Because once I started working out, that now I'm associating. Now I have a goal I can kind of pursue with eating too. You know, because eating plays a part in my goal of
Mm,
gaining muscle. You know, getting
mm,
stronger. This plays a part, so I have to pay attention here, so I can benefit in training too. So that definitely helped me stay on track.
mm.
You know, it continues to help me
Oh,
stay on track to this day. Yeah,
mm. But
yeah,
I honestly still think that what you were doing wasn't that easy because I was also eating a lot. No, not a lot. Some chicken breast before, and I knew that I shouldn't eat processed food, but it was very hard to say no to them.
yeah.
Yeah, so thumbs up.
I wasn't perfect, you know. I mean, but I mean, for sure, like it's been a journey to get to the level, like yeah. But overall, I'd
Mm,
say like overall, like I would be pretty controlled about it, yeah. But of
mm,
course, I would still eat it sometimes, yeah.
okay. And what about meal prepping? Like, was it did it take you a lot of time to meal prep?
So overall, no. But some days I would feel like maybe yeah, because well, what I would do was I would go to the store one time a week, maybe twice, but yeah, usually twice a week. But I would do my cooking like 2 days out of the week too. But and like let's say if I'm making food for an entire week, it would take me like multiple hours because I'm cooking chicken, I'm cooking broccoli in the oven, dude. I'm cooking like my ground beef, like my other vegetables, my fish. So it would take a lot. Like you know, like it would take a lot of time, but just for one day. Like and like something about me is like I don't actually like cooking. Like I actually don't like it. I think it's something that I will come to like more later on, hopefully. But right now, like when I used to meal prep, like I didn't like it because I would be like, fuck, like it's taking a lot of time out of my day. Even though it was just one day, that was like a couple hours. And it was so worth it because now I'm setting myself for success with the week. Like now I'm eating like nutritious food for the rest of the week. But like, yeah. But overall, it would take me like a couple hours. It would take me like a couple
Mm,
hours to make this food overall, and then yeah.
okay, so I think you
Yeah.
developed your own strategies when it comes to meal
Oh
prepping
yeah,
to like
definitely.
what you were doing definitely saved you some time, but you still thought that maybe you were still spending too much time, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm, I see, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess we can move on to the next stage. So the next stage, was it your 1 month carnivore challenge?
Dude, yeah, because well,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. The only thing that I was kind of eating different um from the previous stage was I added in raw dairy. So I added in raw
Uh-huh.
milk. I never really drank raw milk, but like
Why?
I'd heard of it and I was like, okay, I wanted to it's just because I didn't really know what it was. I never drank milk even growing up either. Just oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention too. Like I just never drank milk growing up. I mean, like not because it was good or bad. I just never did. My parents never bought it for me. So
Mm-hmm.
we just weren't drinking milk. Oh, you know why? It's because my it was dumb. It's because my mom was dairy intolerant. My dad's lactose intolerant. So yeah, that's why we never drank it.
Oh, okay.
Both my parents have lactose intolerances. So
Mhm.
uh, yeah.
Yeah,
But
why did you want to
yeah.
start drinking raw dairy?
So yeah, what made me want to do it? I yeah, dude. I was just following people on Instagram and I saw it was a thing and I was like, that sounds really interesting. Let me search up if I can find some in my area, and I could. So yeah, I just wanted to start drinking it, and then yeah, dude. I mean, again, like and again, what really appealed to me was like, oh, the taste. I can make good protein shakes out of it, and like it's easy like calories for me to like get stronger. So that was it,
Mm,
and it tasted good.
okay.
So
And what did you think about the fact that it was raw? Because I think most people would freak out that it is raw.
yeah, so for me, I actually didn't care that much because I'm not
Okay.
because I wasn't drinking regular milk anyways. And for me, the raw concept, I mean, the people I was following who were posting about this, I was so confident. I respected them so much, like off because I was just following them for so long, and I've listened to a lot of their stuff, and I respected them, and I was like, okay, raw milk. Like if anything, dude, if anything, that made me more intrigued. That made me want to be like, oh, raw milk. Like I want to drink that even more now. That's honestly how I felt. Like I wanted to drink it way more. I knew that it wasn't like regular milk, of course. Like it's it's not pasteurized. Like it's just, it's just raw milk. So I was like, okay, like I was cautious. Like I drank a little bit just to kind of like test myself. And once I realized I was good, I was just like, all right, I'm just going to drink it. So yeah. And then leading up to that, so I was eating regular from my last stage to this stage. It's the only thing I added. And so now I'm coming into, I go to eating carnivore. And so the reason I started
Okay.
carnivore.
So yeah. Let's see. Oh, I also want to talk about the maybe health benefits that you experience from like switching from your eating whatever you want diet to maybe eating less processed food and eventually eating more raw dairy. Did you experience any benefits or tell me about.
Yeah. So I guess from not eating processed like foods, I instantly became aware of how good I could feel. I didn't. I used to have a lot of stomach aches. I used to have a lot of just really discomfort in my body from eating a lot of junk food. And of course, like in the moment, if I'm eating junk food, like I'm loving life. Like I'm going through an entire pint of ice cream. I'm eating like 12 cookies in one sitting. Like they taste so good. But I thought I had so many stomach aches. I felt my digestion was horrible. Like I'm literally just like pooping so much. Like I don't know, dude. Like just horrible digestion, horrible like stomach aches, all these things. And I thought it was normal. Like I literally thought it was normal. But the more I cut these things out, the more I kind of came to terms with like, okay, wait a minute. Like I'm feeling a little better. Like my digestion is better. I have more energy. Like, oh, now, and then with training too, like I'm stronger. Like I can tell I'm feeding my body like stuff it can actually use, like nutrients and like it's helping me recover and all of these things make me feel better. So biggest thing I noticed from switching processed foods is like, I'm feeling just better in general, better digestion, no stomach aches. I'm moving through the day with confidence that like nothing else is like, I'm in control. I'm more in control. I don't have to like react to what my body's like malfunctioning on because I'm giving it just shit. So that was the biggest thing
So
there.
like you started to feel happier because you had started to have less physical problems.
I started to have less. I started to have less limitations.
You didn't really have any mental problems or mild mental problems.
I don't think so. Yeah, no, I really don't think so. I just was now aware of the fact that how good I could feel when I stopped eating them. And once because I noticed only when I would go back to eating food, like processed food. I transitioned to eating like this way over here, like healthier, like protein, like I'm eating like whole foods pretty much. I'm only eating whole foods like primarily, and then if I go eat junk food right over here, I notice I now notice the difference, and that's what really
your body tells you.
Yeah, my body tells me. Like my body tells me, 100%.
Okay, and you choose to listen to it.
Yeah,
some people just keep eating shit.
Yeah, and and then also too, like a lot of people don't think that, like they think it's normal. Like I used to think like stomach aches and all these things were normal, right? But once you try something new and you experience something, you're now aware of you're now aware of how you could feel otherwise. So a lot of people think it's really normal and they live this life of like, oh, this just happens. Like this is just a part of life when it really doesn't have to be. It's just an effect of what they're eating, and their body adapt. The worst thing is too is like their body can adapt to that too. So it's like now the body's like, all right, oh my god, like now I'm tolerating shit. Like I might as well get like good at it or like semi good at it. So yeah, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, so my transition to raw milk was, I guess I didn't see that many benefits, like feeling wise. I didn't see anything. But like what I will tell you though is like it was just easy. I mean, in terms of training, it's really easy to drink calories, and milk is the best food for that. So like I just noticed I was getting stronger, like faster. So
okay,
that's it. That's it. From like a feeling standpoint, I didn't. No. Yeah.
It was just more convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you like raw milk? Did you like the taste?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you maybe have more enjoyment in your diet.
Yes, that's exactly it. Just tastes good.
Okay.
I put some chocolate protein powder in there.
Okay, sounds very good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great.
Okay. Was it hard to source raw milk?
No, it wasn't because.
Okay, I'm jealous.
Yeah, you can. you can. Let me just search this up on my computer real quick.
Okay.
But you can look up realmilk.com,
Uh-huh.
realmilk.com, and you can find out where milk is sourced near you. I think it only works in the United States though. So
I heard of that before, and I didn't bother checking it.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's literally only in the United States. So sorry, but but yeah. So
Okay, so
um,
you could find a raw milk farm near you.
oh yeah, not
Was it
well.
a
I didn't go to
farm?
a farm. I didn't go to a farm.
Uh-huh.
I went to a store. Yeah,
Oh, just a store. Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
because it's
I kind
illegal
of.
to sell in some stores, but only like
Oh, okay.
some stores carry it, but they say it's not for human consumption.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask like what kind of people are going to buy.
Yeah,
Maybe just
yeah,
people want to buy milk for their pets.
yeah.
It's stupid. Like pets are getting better food. Is sad. Okay, let's move on to the next stage. So like, how did you? Let's see. Let's. How did you and when did you first came across carnivore?
Yeah. So I knew about carnivore probably in 20. I mean, I've been aware of it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I've known the concept for a long time. I'd
Mm-hmm.
probably say
Mm-hmm.
I probably heard of it in 2019, but I started seeing people that like I knew. I started to see people that I like followed and do it and talk about it probably in like 2020.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, 2020. People would I heard from if you know this guy. This is probably the first dude that I really saw that I followed that I really liked who was on it. His name's Mark Bell. He he's pretty famous in like the whole powerlifting like fitness industry, I guess. But he's there's this thing called World Carnivore Month. Are you aware of that? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what. I heard of that. I heard of that.
Okay, so it's January, and
Mm-hmm.
he would and in January he would post about it. He'd be like, "It's World Carnivore Month. I'm going carnivore." Like I'm like, okay, like I'm like sounds interesting, dude. I don't really like that's interesting that you would do that, but whatever.
Oh,
And then
you
he did it
thought it
for
was interesting?
like I thought it was like oh I hear like what I thought about it was like oh like he's doing carnivore like and then I would just not really I'm like oh cool and then I wouldn't really think
Oh,
anything like I'd be like
because
oh cool
I think most people when they see this, they are going to have like negative feeling because being interested is like a positive feeling. I think.
yeah
Oh,
I wouldn't I was more like a neutral feeling I think like
oh,
I
that's
think when I
good.
saw it he was like it's World Carnivore Month and I'd be like nice I'd like the post and I just keep scrolling.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Okay.
like I wasn't. I don't think I thought anything negative of it, but I was just like, oh, cool. Like, because I already like this dude. I already like this guy, and I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, cool. Like, nice. Like, he's eating carnivore. I didn't really even know what it meant to be honest. I just knew it was like, all right, animal foods. But past that, I didn't really know. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then I saw him do 100 days, and I was like, okay, this dude's doing it for 100 days. Like, wow,
Okay.
that's really cool. Again, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna keep scrolling.
Okay.
But but what really got me into it, what really got me more aware of it was okay, now I follow it was just exactly the same process over and over. Like more people I respected and more people I was
Oh.
already trusted a lot
Oh.
online in the fitness space, they would post about it like, hey, like, or they would say this, they'd be like, yeah, I tried carnivore, or like they would publicly say, like, yeah, I feel best when I just eat meat and fruit and that's it. And I'm like, and I would listen to that and be like, dude, that's really interesting. That is
Okay.
really interesting. And you know what I actually thought? This is genuinely what I thought because I'm at this point I was still eating chicken, rice, like very bodybuilder ish like foods. Like not straight bodybuilder, but like chicken, rice, eggs, beef, like this stuff, like decent, like pretty good, honestly. Like, but what I literally thought from seeing all these people that I really respected say like I feel great off meat and fruit and that's it. I thought like I literally thought to myself like, oh my god, that must be like the pinnacle of eating. That must be the best. That must be the higher level. I literally envisioned myself. I was like, okay, I've gone from down here to here, and now I'm right here. And I honestly felt I was like, oh my god, meat and fruit must be like up here. I just don't
Oh.
know it yet. I was just like, oh my god. But that still didn't let me. That still didn't motivate me to do it though.
Okay. So
I still
so
wasn't
you
like.
subconsciously knew that maybe it would be definitely better for you.
I thought that there was something I was missing out on. I thought that
Okay. Did
I
you
was
know
like,
what it was?
no,
Okay, but you
no.
because many people said that this diet worked for them, so you just started to think that it's actually a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like,
Okay.
oh shit, like what is that? Like, okay, like what is carnivore? Like I was like, all these people that I
Okay.
really respect, like they're saying I feel really good on meat and fruit. Like that's really
Okay.
interesting. But I still didn't go for it. It
Okay.
actually wasn't until and dude, like my brother doesn't talk about this that much. I mean, everybody knows my brother's carnivore now, but like my brother was heavy into carnivore. My brother was heavy into carnivore before anybody knew. Like before any like he
Oh.
started I got into carnivore because of Nick. Because he started
Mhm.
doing carnivore because of his skin. He wanted to get his skin better. And he's like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on a carnivore diet. And I was like, holy shit, like you're doing carnivore, like, oh my god, nice.
Oh,
And
you
so
said nice.
oh yeah. No, I was just
that's
like,
that's
I
that's
was supportive.
perfect.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, that sounds great. I was like,
You're supposed to say, "Oh, this is too dangerous. You shouldn't do this."
I was just like, yeah, bro, like try it. Like, you know, who knows what's gonna happen? Like, in my mind, carnivore was at this point, carnivore was like a respectable thing. I was like, I respected it. Like, I was like, cool. Like, I don't really know what it is, but I respect it. But like, I can never imagine myself doing it. I could never. I was like, oh, that's awesome, but I never imagined myself actually doing it. So it wasn't until my brother experienced carnivore. I go to Japan. I went to Japan this summer in July, and he was already on it for 3 weeks at this point. And we start talking. We start talking, you know, about carnivore. He's telling me all the benefits he's received, and at this point, I'm like, oh my god, like I need to try this. I need to try this. So I come home from Japan. Not even a week. I wasn't even used to the jet lag yet. I was not even used to the jet lag. I was still having, and I waited 4 days or so, and I started carnivore. And
Okay,
that's
wait. You saw Nick in Japan. Like, did he try carnivore for 3 weeks? Did he act differently? No. Like, did he look differently or he act differently? Like, you
yeah.
saw his changes.
Yeah, so at that point he was already like when I met up with him, he was already like 21 days in.
Mm-hmm.
But Nick actually did. I will tell you that Nick did strict carnivore for like 120 days. So he's deep, and he still eats carnivore to this day. But I will. So as far as changes, I noticed. Okay, like one, his skin was better. I'd say.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, his
Not
skin's better.
eating processed crab for 21 days and eating as much meat as you
But
want.
dude,
Your
that's the
skin is
thing.
only going to get better.
Yeah. His skin is better, and it's gotten a lot better since then. But dude, that's the thing. Even though Nick wasn't like Nick and I are just like the same with our diet. Like he's eating like pretty good. He's already eating like actually like whole foods, like fine, like just a mixture of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, like these things. Like he's eating good, like vegetables too, all these, whatever. Like, but he just went carnivore and his skin got better, which was his main goal in like 3 weeks. So he's already noticed improvements. He's
Okay.
noticing like he was acting. It was funny because what made me really curious was he was acting like he found a new level. Like he found a new level of like health. He was acting like that, and I was just like, okay,
Oh,
like I
he
could just feel,
discovered
yeah,
something huge.
like I could see that I could see that carnivore was like really working for him in all these different aspects, and he was expressing
Okay.
that to me too. He was telling me like he told me like, oh, you probably honestly, dude. He was like, you probably feel like shit right now compared to what you could feel. He literally told me that. He literally told me that. Here's me. I'm feeling like good. Like I'm feeling fine. You know, I'm feeling
Okay.
like what I think is fine at the time, right? Like my definitions change the more I experiment. But at the time, I'm like, dude, I feel great, and I honestly wasn't feeling bad at all. I felt like pretty good, like overall, like pretty good, you know. But that got me really curious because I was like, okay, like if he thinks he's like, you probably feel like shit, and I was just like, no, but like maybe relative to what you're feeling, there, I could see there's a possibility. Like, who knows? I haven't tried this for myself, so that's
So
what
like
really got me good.
you didn't have any concerns about carnivore.
Honestly, dude, the only concern I had was like, bro, honestly, I really didn't have that many. I really didn't have that many because my
So like what you
yeah.
were receiving was just like many people you respected or like your own brother. They pretty much everyone just said that this diet is like so good, so good, so good. So I guess like, and you don't really have any concerns for it. So it made a lot of sense why you wanted to give it a try, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. So yeah, like even though, but yeah, it's cool because even though all the people I respected online were doing it, it wasn't until like Nick, like my best friend, my brother, like was doing it, and he told me he was feeling good off it. Was like, holy shit, like I need to do this. That was a really like boom, like I'm doing it. You know, carnivore for me beforehand. The reason why I wasn't doing it, and this is all that it is, the only concern that I had was that it wasn't realistic. I literally thought like that's just not realistic. Like
Oh.
that's just like I was like, oh, that's you only eat meat and eggs, like and butter and stuff. And like I was like, oh, that's not really realistic. Like I don't think I could do that. I was like, I don't think I could. I don't think I could. You know,
Like stick to it.
I would try it. Well, I knew I could stick to it, but I was like, why would I? I don't know why. I was just like, that just seems like really extreme. I don't really want to do that. You
Oh.
know, I didn't want to
I mean,
challenge
like
myself.
if you wanted to try to stick to it, it would still be hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also
Mm.
I didn't have any I didn't really have any incentive too. Like the incentive to like I didn't have any. I was already living like a decently healthy life,
Yeah,
you know.
like you said, you thought you felt good.
Yeah, yeah, I felt good. Yeah, I felt good. So I didn't really have any like incentive. I wasn't like for him. He was like, I need to fix my skin. For me, I was like, my skin's already pretty good. Like, and I already feel good. So I'm just gonna keep going where I'm going. You know.
Okay. And by the way, what skin problem did Nick have?
Well, he just had I
Some
about
acne.
like yeah, there's acne.
Okay, so
Yeah.
nothing major, serious.
Nothing even crazy. Just like face
Oh,
acne that like he had a little
yeah, he was already eating clean.
yeah, like yeah, but he already was like, oh well, I still have like acne on my face. Like I want to try and get this really, you know, fixed. So that's why.
Okay, okay, let's see. Okay, so uh, before you went on this diet, like, what did you expect to get out of it?
Yeah, dude. I honestly I I just wanted to I didn't have that many expectations. I really didn't. I think the one
Mm.
thing that I expected was to become more productive because I knew that I would spend less time eating. I knew it because at
Mm.
this point I'm already eating three times a day, maybe four with like a snack. I was eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then I had like a snack maybe in between lunch and dinner. So I'm eating like four
Mm.
times a day. And on carnivore, I was like, well, I know I'm definitely not going to eat four times a day. Like, well,
Oh,
the way I chose to do it was the way I was literally eat until I wasn't hungry, or
oh, sure.
basically eat until the meat didn't taste good. So at each
Mm.
meal, which I had 2 meals per day usually, um, I would just be like, I would eat until the meat didn't taste good. So I would literally eat until I couldn't eat anymore, pretty much until I didn't want to. So
Mm.
for me, that was twice a day.
Okay,
That's how.
so you already knew that meat could be very satiating. So like you
Yeah,
wouldn't have to eat a lot during this challenge.
yeah,
Like it will save you some time.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
was already my expectation was like I'm gonna become more productive. Other than that, like more time that I can spend like not eating, right? Like, you know. So yeah. So just
Mm.
more time to do stuff I want to do, and that's pretty much the only expectation I had. Other than that, I was really curious as to what would happen to me. What
Mm.
benefits would I experience? Because I'm already coming from
Mm.
a place that's like pretty healthy.
Mm. Oh, okay, okay. That
Yeah,
sounds exciting. Let's see. So what foods were you eating during your 1 month challenge? I think you have a very strict rule.
yeah, yeah. I wrote an article on this too. I only ate. So I wanted to do so in carnivore you can do any type of animal products, like pretty much like but like any type of meat, like chicken, fish, you know, red meat. Obviously, you can do any type of meat. I chose to do this without dairy. So I chose. Some people do carnivore with dairy, but like, I think honestly, true carnivore is really without dairy, in my opinion. I ate butter
Mm.
though. Like butter fits in there.
Mm.
Um, so what I was
Low carb,
doing was
your carb.
yeah. So what I was doing was ground beef, and then I also had bone broth, butter,
Okay.
eggs, salt, and water, and that's pretty much it. And I was also eating like liver too. I had
Mm.
liver.
Sounds so
Um,
good. That's a
yeah,
very good first step.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it was just that, and I'd never had chicken once. I had salmon one time, and I didn't like how it made me feel, and I had pork
Oh.
one time, and I didn't like it. So
Okay.
I just stuck with steak and ground beef the entire time, pretty much.
Okay. And like, what inspired you to design this recipe, like this combination?
Yeah, my brother told me to do that.
Oh, really? Okay,
He,
nice. Wow,
yeah, so
good
it was really
teacher.
cool because well, he didn't. I mean, he didn't tell me to do exactly that, but what he did tell me was like, I was like, okay, should I do this with dairy or not? Because I was going to do it with raw milk, but then he was like, honestly, dude, you should probably just not even try it. Like, don't even do it. And
Um,
I was just like, all right, man, like all right, cool. Like, I'm just not gonna, yeah. So that's the only thing. So he convinced me not to do raw milk, but other than
mm,
that, like ground beef, steak, like I just preferred those. He was doing
mm,
the same thing though too, but yeah, he was eating in a similar way, but yeah. So I designed that with kind of his influence. Yeah.
So mainly your brother's advice.
Yes.
Okay. And when it comes to bone broth, how did you make it?
Yeah. So an awesome tool that anybody can buy that's honestly like decently cheap. It's called an Instant Pot. I love those. You don't even have to. You could probably use any pressure cooker. I like the Instant Pot. So I would buy beef bone marrow. I would buy bone marrow bones, and I would fill up my whole I fill up with like 3 quarts of water, put the bone marrow bones in the water, like turn on like the setting for bone broth or like whatever I used to put on for that. I forgot, but like for 2 hours, come back later, bam. I would just have it ready. Delicious, dude. Absolutely delicious. And honestly, I don't know why I don't even eat it right now. Like I need to make it. I should probably. It sounds really good. So yeah, that's how I made it though. I just use. I
My
would put
mouth
it
is
in a
watering now.
yeah, dude. I would put it in Instabot, press a button, and it would just do the work for me. The best thing about one of the best things about modern day technology is that we can cook by just pressing buttons, bro. That's what exactly. I already said I don't even like cooking. That's exactly what I'm just air fryer, boom, Instapot, boom. Like that's what I do. Well, I don't do that anymore, but like that's what I used to do. So yeah.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Moving on to the next question. Yeah. So after trying this combination for 1 month, what benefits did you experience?
Honestly, a ton. Like a
Mm-mm,
ton of benefits.
mm-mm,
First off, this is the biggest one. And keep in mind, I'm coming into this month with with genuine curiosity of how I was even going to
mm.
like benefit from this. Like, how am I going
Already
to?
pretty good stage.
I'm already at a pretty good state. Like,
Mm.
what am I going to experience here? And the first thing I really noticed was the energy levels. The energy levels were consistent the entire day. It's not like I was already a person with like pretty good energy, like good energy for sure. But now I would go through like this. It would look like this, like up, and then I would have like, let's say, a ton of rice for lunch. Like, oh, now I'm slow. And I come up again, maybe eat something again, come down. It would look like a wave, It'd be like a wave. Carnivore is pretty much just like this,
Mm.
kind of like this, stable throughout the entire day. So huge, 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 huge benefit there, like crazy.
Was it
Um,
overall your energy level? Was it overall higher
Overall,
or
I'd
just more
say
stable?
just more stable. Like, but like, yeah. So if I'm going up here, like before, carnivore, I
Mm.
would just stay like pretty much here the entire day, which
Uh,
is really cool. Um, yeah, and so there's that, and also, dude, like with carnivore, this is really really cool. Again, the productivity that my brother was talking about, it's so true, and I think that's true for a couple of reasons. One, you're not eating as much. You're not spending as much time eating as you were previously. So I'm now only eating twice a day. So now I have an extra hour pretty much in my afternoon to do what I want to do. Also, cooking for carnivore is so simple. You just turn on a pan, you eat the meat. Like it's so easy. So that's saving cooking time. I don't need to prep anything. No more broccoli in the oven. No more chicken in the oven for the week. I'm just fucking cooking. I'm cooking each time, and it takes no time. Um, and I think the productivity increased because of a couple of things. The energy and the productivity really go hand
Wow.
in hand
Mm.
because in carnivore, you don't. I noticed I didn't get hungry, if that makes sense. Like I don't get the same hunger that I felt before. I could go on carnivore when I was really fully on it, and even now I still feel confident. But like, I could eat one time a day and be totally chill. I could easily go eating just once a day and be totally fine and not feel hungry, not have any cravings, no nothing. Like energy levels high, like like my body's sustaining itself just off one meal, like because it's all protein. Like I'm getting all protein and fat. I'm getting satiated. I'm getting nutrients. It's really amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And for me to experience that firsthand and know that I can just go without being hungry and have energy is huge. Because dude,
You
people
can
are
like focus
yeah,
on what you want to focus on
yeah,
first
exactly.
before you do eat something.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. So like it was awesome. I'm going through, I'm coming from a place where I was like I would get hungry every 5 hours, every 4 hours. I would get hungry every 5 hours. So
Mm,
and now go from that place to going in a place where I'm comfortable going throughout my entire day without wanting to eat or like having the cravings to eat, having the literal like, like, oh my God, I want to eat. I never really felt like that. So that's another huge benefit. Not to say I
okay.
didn't eat. I ate a lot of food still. I still ate a lot of food. But
Mm,
I didn't have I knew that I wasn't like I could go for a long time if I wanted to,
mm,
which is a superpower, I think, honestly.
mm, mm.
And the third biggest thing that I experienced was better digestion. The digestion was amazing. What I mean by
You're
that is, and a
supposed
lot
to
of
be constipated, right?
exactly, exactly. But a lot of people think that you're going to be constipated or you're going to, or poop like shit a ton or like just, oh my God, it's gonna be horrible. You're never gonna poop or something bad's gonna happen to you. I never had one stomach ache ever, ever on carnivore ever. I never had. It does take. I will say that I did have one experience on the toilet that was really uncomfortable, but I think it was. But it does take time for the body to transition to like full carnivore mode to really be like, okay, like we're not eating carbohydrates anymore. We're expelling these things out of our body. It does take
Mm,
time for the body to adapt. After
mm.
that, straight up, like I never had. I wasn't actually. I was not uncomfortable. Sometimes I would be, digestion wise. I'm going to talk about poop right now. It's literally like I would go like one time a day, or like maybe like two times a day, but or maybe like once every 2 days, or like like every other day I would poop or something. I never felt constipated, never felt any pain. It was just the fact that my body's absorbing most of what I'm eating. You know,
Mm. You
so
sound like Anthony Chaffee.
that guy knows a lot more than me, dude. But that's exactly what was happening. That was exactly what was happening. So my body's absorbing pretty much all I'm eating, and the only thing I'm discrete like discard out of my body is like the scraps, pretty much. So
Mm.
now I'm going to the bathroom, and it's like just a smooth process, dude. Smooth process. Again, this is saving time because you're still peeing.
Oh,
Like I'm peeing a lot, but like, dude, now I'm not spending. I used to go to the bathroom and have like crazy like crazy poops like 3 times 4 times a day, and now I'm going for like once a day or like once every other day. Like it's something like that, and it sounds
mm.
crazy. It sounds legitimately crazy, but dude, never once did I have a stomach ache. And I'm gonna go fast forward just a tiny bit, just tiny here. When I did go finish the month and I had a little bit of honey, I had a little bit. I instantly felt a little stomach pain, and that was something I literally forgot about. I forgot that that was even a thing
Oh,
because I went
okay.
31 days without one entirely. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, really interesting. But those are the three main things. So I'd say better energy levels, better productivity, and better digestion. Those were huge. Also, the fourth thing that changed a lot too was my weight. It wasn't a goal of mine, but I lost.
Oh,
So I started out at 183, pretty much the same weight I am now. But I started out at 183 pounds, 83 kilograms, 82 kilograms, and I lost about my lowest weigh-in carnivore because I was weighing myself almost every single day. I weighed in at 169 pounds one morning. So that is a loss. That's a 14-pound difference. I
oh,
ended the challenge on like 172, 173. So that's overall 11 or 10-pound difference. But I lost
okay.
weight. You could tell in my face, you could tell in my body, like I was leaner. Um,
Mm-mm.
definitely wasn't trying to. And keep in mind, I'm eating. That's just a side effect of what was happening. I was no carbs, so I'm less water. There's way less water in my body. And dude, like, keep in mind, I'm eating until I can't eat anymore. Like I'm not hungry at all. Like I'm eating so much food, you know, but I lost 10 pounds. It's very, very
Oh,
interesting. It wasn't
that
all
sounds
obvious.
like a miracle.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't all fat and muscle, of course. Like it's just 1 month, but I lost a lot of water, like, and I did lose some weight for sure. But like I lost a lot of water weight. I looked like I was leaner. Yeah. So that was just another thing that happened. Those four
Okay.
things.
So did you like experience stomach pain regularly before carnivore?
Well, it would be more like after I eat a meal, like I would feel like super yeah, I'd feel some discomfort. Like I'd feel some discomfort.
Mm,
It wasn't like crazy, like, oh man, I'm having a ton of stomach aches, but like every now and then for sure, like I would feel like this, and then like, oh my god, like I need to eat. And then like right after I ate, I would go to the bathroom. Like right after, I would go to the bathroom.
mm.
These type of things that would not happen on carnivore.
Oh.
What I was doing was I was eating it's actually an amazing thing. I would eat a huge meal. I'd go walk and I wouldn't need to go to the bathroom instantaneously. That was a huge thing for me. And I would dude, when we talk about carnivore, these are things that are gonna happen. Like the digestion is gonna get a lot better. And yeah, I end up talking about poop all the time when I talk about carnivore. But like, yeah, but there's just things that started happening to me, and it was really cool. I would just eat a huge meal and I would go on a walk, and like after the walk, I'd be pretty much good to go. Like I'd be
Mm,
good to go, which would be crazy. Like, how's that possible? But it's possible. So,
mm.
yeah,
Okay. What about like skin, hair, teeth, things like those?
yeah. So hair, I shaved my head, and I still have a buzz cut. So, yeah. Other things that I noticed on that, I think the skin. Oh yeah. So as soon as I started doing carnivore, I stopped washing my face. Like
Uh-huh.
I stopped using products like that. I switched my soap to I buy soap that's only made out of beef tallow now.
Oh
Uh,
damn. You are
yeah,
onto something.
yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I used to spend hundreds of dollars on face care products, hundreds of
Okay.
dollars, and I don't use any of that anymore. And my skin's good. Like my skin's
Mm-hmm.
good. I don't use I was using skincare products before. I would sometimes get zits still and stuff and all these things, but now I don't use anything. I don't use anything like that. I don't use any shampoo, and obviously I don't really need to. I don't really have any hair, but like
Mm.
all I use is beef tallow soap, and it does and like do that, and I eat in a certain way. Dude, my skin has literally never been better. I legitimately look back on pictures 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I've always had like a noticeable acne scar or zit on my face in any of the pictures, honestly. And now I'm
Same.
like, I don't take any, yeah, it's just it was automatically there. And now I eat in a way, or I was eating away on carnivore that was like so I wasn't doing any face washing, and my skin was the best it's ever been. So that's another huge benefit. I'm glad you asked me about that because I totally forgot about it. But that's what happened to me. So yeah,
I, I always try to tell people that if you go carnivore from whatever you are eating, you are definitely going to experience weight loss, better skin, better mood, and I think there's one more thing. Uh, I
digestion.
forgot.
That's for
I
me at
kind of
least.
forgot. Damn.
Oh, good.
Maybe
Okay.
just three things. Just three
Yeah.
things. I forgot. Yeah. Also, so you mentioned that you start using skincare products. Was it because maybe your mindset changed? Like you started, like, oh, maybe putting these chemicals on my skin is not going to help me whatsoever, or it was just because your skin just became better, so you didn't really need to use those products.
Yeah, dude. I think it's because I just wanted to really. I heard of course people benefiting skin wise on skincare on their skin on carnivore, and I was like, okay, well, I want to see if this works without me using any other assistance, and the assistance was the skincare products.
Oh.
I was like, let me just cut all that out and focus on this. So yeah,
Mm.
I'm gonna put these on.
Oh, sure. Time's up. Okay, let's see. Also, you stopped using skincare products at the beginning of your challenge.
Yeah, I probably stopped using skincare products like a couple days in. Yeah.
Okay. And before that, that was like a regular part in your
Oh yeah,
life.
definitely.
How many
Definitely.
times a week? No, how many times a day?
Oh, twice a day.
Twice a day. Okay, okay. You
Well,
are
okay, I was at least once a day. If I was really
at
good,
least once
twice
a
a
day.
day. Yeah, twice a
Okay,
day.
okay.
Yeah, once a day, usually all the time.
I see, I see.
Yeah, that was huge for me.
Let's,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Let's see. What's next? Mm. Okay, yeah, yeah. So let's move on to your current diet because you added fruits, right?
hmm
So, like, why did you decide to make that decision?
Yeah. So the
That's
biggest
your
thing.
next stage, right? Like, there was
Yes.
no other stages in
No,
between. And
that's the next.
okay,
That's the stage that I'm
okay,
in.
okay.
Yeah. So the reason why I decided to do that is because I like the main reason is because I like fruit. I really like fruit, and I've seen other people incorporate it into. I've seen all the people are like respect. I was like they incorporate it in, they feel good. Let me just try it. I
Mm.
love fruit. I love honey. Like I like fruit more than honey for sure, but I just have honey in
Oh,
there.
really?
Um, but the reason why I did that is because I like the taste. And for me,
Mm.
when I did carnivore, I even at the end after benefiting from all these things, seeing the benefits, all this stuff, I viewed it as a diet. And what I mean by that is I viewed it as a diet as in something that was going to get me to a goal. Something that was not Leo, are you still there?
Okay, okay. Let's see.
What was I
Okay,
talking
I
about?
think we can keep. So, what were we talking about?
I think
Do you still remember?
I was talking about oh yeah, why I added in honey and fruit again.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the reason why I had honey and fruit again was because I mean I generally thought it tasted good. Like I like the taste and I thought of the carnivore diet as just the diet, just that a diet. So what I mean by that
Mm.
is I knew even after experiencing all the benefits on it, I knew I felt like it was very like I wanted to go off it, like I felt like I was like, okay, let me this was a challenge for myself, 31 days, and I completed it. And so let me introduce a tastier, like some tasty food.
Mm.
Not that meat isn't tasty, but just like a new flavor, right? Like a new
Mm.
flavor of honey and fruit. I want to try this. I really like these foods. I see other people incorporating them back in, so I'm just going to try it too.
Mm.
That's why I started to do it, and the
Mm.
benefits I feel from it are that I mean,
Better,
just
more enjoyment.
yes, yeah, exactly. Like delicious flavors, right? Like delicious. I legitimately think of fruit and honey as luxuries because I went an entire month of eating just savory food, eggs, meat, just savory. And sometimes I'd be like, damn, I haven't had anything sweet in literally forever, anything. And so that made my taste buds get, really sensitive to sweet foods in the sense that like they taste insanely good. So honey and fruit, they taste so good to me now, they taste so good. And
Mm.
just having the more enjoyment of different flavors is really what
Oh.
I like personally. And it works really well for me too. So it actually really works well for me.
Mm.
So that's the biggest thing to pay attention to. Like one, is it working for my body? Yes. Two, the flavors are really amazing. I really
Mm.
like to have that in my life.
Okay, okay. When you
Yeah.
say that it's working for you, are you saying that it doesn't give you any like negative effects?
No. Though the one thing I will say is, I'm not about to talk about poop again, but
Go
I
for
see
it.
that digestion is really good, but I would say on carnivore it's a little better. Just on straight carnivore, it's like a tiny bit better.
Oh, I
And what
see.
I mean by that is like the poop's just a little different. Um,
Mm.
but it's totally good. It's totally fine.
Mm.
Like it's I feel
Okay.
really good. But yeah, that's it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So maybe you have a little bit better digestion on carnivore, but you are willing to sacrifice that for like those sweet things.
Yeah, like the flavors, like the flavors. Yeah, I would say
uh,
the difference between the digestion is minimal, but I'd say
mm.
carnivore is like better, but like only by a little.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. That's interesting. I
yeah,
see. Okay. Let's see what's
for
next.
me, yeah.
Sure, 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 definitely. I am
Gotta
not a nutritional
gotta
expert.
put that in there.
Okay, so what are the things that you believed before that you don't believe now after thriving on this pretty much only meat diet?
All right, two main ones. One, I need vegetables. I obviously don't need them. I don't feel like I need them right now. I'm doing fine. I haven't eaten a vegetable in 3 months. Number two, I need carbohydrates. Those are the two things that I really felt that I was like, these are rules I need to follow, and I need to do these things. And I found out that I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Even on carnivore too. Like I thought the reason why I didn't care about the vegetable part. Like, yeah, dude, I don't need to I don't have to eat vegetables. Oh no, like I don't like vegetables anyways. Like that much. Like I can make them good if I add. I can. You can make vegetables.
Every child's dream.
Yeah, literally. Like you can make them good, of course, but put it in the oven. Put salt, pepper, olive oil. If you put oil on them, like they're gonna taste good. For me, like I like broccoli when it has oil on it. But the biggest thing for me was carbohydrates because I'm training. I really think that carbohydrates are going to make me stronger. They're the key. They're going to give me energy for my training. Like I need them. But I found out that I wasn't losing strength in anything when I was on carnivore. I was actually getting stronger, and especially on body weight stuff because I lost some water weight. So like I got stronger on body weight, and it was like chin ups and stuff, and it was really cool. So I didn't get weaker, and we're talking about concerns earlier. That was the one concern I had was like, I'm going to get weaker. Like I'm
Oh,
going to get weak or something. I got smaller for sure. Like I did get smaller. Like I lost 10 pounds. Like I got smaller, but I mean, dude, like the strength was still there. So it was really cool. And
okay.
yeah, so the two things I really broke my brain were like, I don't need vegetables anymore. And then I also don't need carbohydrates to like function. Like me functioning without carbohydrates for like a month was crazy.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. How do you source your meat, and what do you look for when it comes to buying meat?
Mm-hmm. So right now, when I source my meat, I don't really look for anything in particular. So what I mean
Mm-hmm.
by that is I buy ground beef in like packets at the store, and I buy steak in packets at the store too. That's pretty much it. I buy meat I used to buy grass fed meat. Like I used to buy grass finished like meat, but for me right now, I don't. I just buy grain fed like factory farm stuff. So that's what I buy right now. And the reason why I do that is because I don't deem it financially reasonable for me right now to make that decision for my situation right now to just buy grass fed stuff. Um, and some people may think that factory farm. I mean, like I do agree that factory farming, and the whole process of these animals, like just being born to have their lives be like and they get treated like shit. I think it's horrible. I do acknowledge that it's really horrible. Um, and of course, it's not doing anything like great for the environment, factory farming. But I will say that I value my health more than the lives of those cows, and I value my health more than the effect that factory farming has on the environment. So I choose, and I notice that I feel really good even when I'm eating grain fed, like factory farmed meat. So in that case, I acknowledge that these problems are there, the environment and the overall well being of the animals. I really do, but I prioritize my health more. And so for that reason, right now, and mixed with the financial situation that I'm in, I just buy meat from the store that's in packets that's not grass fed. It's grain fed. It's factory farmed, and I just buy that and I eat it, and I feel really good on it. So yeah,
Okay, so those are meat. Those are meat in like what's that called? Fridges, like not freezers, not
like
frozen. Are they frozen?
they're not frozen. No,
Uh,
they're like chilled. Yeah, they're chilled.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
learn a new word. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I just want to say that I think too many people don't realize how good you can feel when you like start eating more meat and less processed food. So they are going to say that like what you're doing is unethical or something like that. But I think if everyone is like feeling better, then the world is just going to be a better place, and we can start thinking about like what we can do to make animals live happier or something like that. Yeah, because I think the world is collapsing.
In some ways, I think that too, dude. And I think, and look, I, I do think that if people have the opinion, like if people have the opinions that that they don't want to choose to eat meat because of the animal cruelty, I do respect that. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing to. I respect that decision. I really do. Um, it's just about what people prioritize, I think, and
Mm, okay.
and and I think that not a lot of people have experienced what I'm experiencing. It's about prioritization and experience. And once you experience something, that really
Okay.
impacts your priorities.
Mm,
So I don't think a lot of people have experienced what I've experienced, what you've experienced, what my brother has experienced. A lot of people have experienced that they're thriving on this way of eating. So, and I think that experience informs their prioritization of things and their decision making. Obviously, if a person still goes through that and they choose, like, if a person still like chooses to not eat meat because of animal cruelty and the environment and whatever things of information they're going off of, that's totally fine.
mm,
Um, but it's kind of when, like, yeah, I mean, I respect that decision, but I also would hopefully encourage them to, one day try out
mm,
meet some, like, prioritizing meat and seeing how they feel, and yeah, I mean, everybody's different, but
mm,
overall, yeah, that's kind of where my stance is on that.
mm. If it's possible, I think I can try just drink blood, raw milk, and eat eggs. I'm not killing anything, but
That's
it's like not very realistic, I guess. Because I know that some tribes they just like draw bloods from cows and they don't actually kill cows,
have you
but
have
they
you
can
eat,
have like
do you eat blood?
no, I can source it. I
Okay, yeah,
I pretty want to.
yeah. I've never
Yeah.
tried it. I don't think I've ever eaten it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You said that you don't think you have ever eaten it.
yeah.
Oh, but would you want to give it a try?
I'd try it. Yeah, I would try it for
Oh,
sure.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, okay. In Taiwan, we often eat duck blood, but it's like solid. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Do you like it?
And but I think they usually mix like other things with it, so it definitely tastes good. It's like
Okay,
I think relatively highly processed. Yeah.
they got sugar in that. They got sugar in that for sure.
No, no sugar. It's savory. Yeah, and
Oh,
we
okay,
just
okay.
put it in like hot pots.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
cool.
Okay, okay. Let's see. How budget friendly do you think your diet is?
Okay, so I think carnivore for the average person is going to be very budget friendly because,
Oh.
as I said, I mean, I say the average person because I'm someone who trains a lot. I'm very active. I have a certain goal I'm chasing goals with performance and, the how I am with training. And also I want to, keep up a certain, like, I mean, this correlates to, this isn't really my main goal, but obviously I want to, like, everything with my body, how it looks too. Like, I have these goals in mind. Right. So I'm eating amount of food to source that, what it takes to do that, and also how it makes me
Mm,
feel and all these things. So for me, the budget actually increased by a little bit,
mm, mm,
just buying meat. And I thought it would decrease, but it increased a little bit because of the sheer amount of meat I was eating. I go through about I used to go through about, like, over 20 pounds of meat per week. So I used to
mm,
go through over 10 kilos of meat per week.
mm,
And now I don't know what I eat, but it definitely is around the same amount, if not more. Um,
mm,
so I do that, but for the average person, I genuinely believe that this diet is going to be cheaper than what they're doing. Because what does the average person do? They
Go to
buy
different famous restaurants to take
yes,
pictures
yes, they do
and
that.
eat
They buy
very expensive foods.
yeah, they're buying random shit all the time. They're buying coffee every day. They're drinking. They're doing all these things. They're buying ultra processed food to heat up in the microwave. That these things that you might not are aware of are really expensive at the time in one purchase, they really add up to be, so much more. So, and the average person obviously is not going to eat the same amount of food as me. Like they're not going to eat the same, because I eat a lot of food. I know that for a fact. I eat a ton of meat. But the average person is not going to eat as much as me or nearly as much. So they're going to eat. They're going to realize that the amount of food that they are going to feel good on is going to be probably less than they think, and they're going to feel satiated. They're going to feel full and energized, and they're going to eat. They're going to realize they need to eat less. They want to eat less because their body's not getting exactly what nutrient. They're nutrient dense foods, and they're cutting out all the other bullshit that they were eating. And I really think that the bill for that versus all this other stuff that they're buying, like snacks, coffee, drinks, restaurants, all these stuff, like that compared to carnivore, like carnivore is going to beat that any day of the week. So the average person, most people will spend less money on food if they do carnivore.
Okay, and also we need to look at like future, right? Because if you keep eating the crabs that you are eating now, you are going to have bad teeth in the future. Like my parents, I'm pretty sure my parents have bad teeth, and they spend so much money on their teeth.
Oh, really?
And I don't think I need to spend money on my teeth in the future, unless I get hit by a truck or something. Yeah. And like being able to be healthy, I think is like priceless. Yeah.
Yes,
Maybe you can, because like I feel so much better now. So like the happiness that I'm feeling now. Oh, if I don't have enough money to buy the meat I want to eat, I'll try that. That's just a sign that I'm not making enough money. I'm going to try to earn more money. I'm not going to try to eat other crabs.
yeah, that's a great, dude, 100%, 100%. I'm with you.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, what do people around you think about your crazy, insane diet? Any concerns from them?
Yeah, so I'd say back in Seattle, so I moved to Florida. Right now in Florida, like I'm surrounded by people who eat very similarly. So none of my roommates think it's weird. None of my nobody I really know down here thinks it's weird at all. However, when I was in Seattle, for sure, 100%, like a lot of people thought it was like really either weird, interesting, very intriguing, or just like that's crazy. That's insane. People would really think that, and I don't blame them. It's very, very outside of the norm. But like I was experiencing such amazing things, and I truly believe like and it was very outside of the norm, and people couldn't really wrap their heads around that. But like you can't be like you can't be like you got to do something different if you want to be different than everybody else, and the average person eats like shit. And so this is just like opportunity people have to break outside of the norm and become healthier. Like, in my opinion. So a lot of people thought it was weird, but overall, like I got some people that were thinking it's cool, but right now, like where I live in Florida, like everybody eats very similarly, and everybody thinks it's like that's like the normal. And where I live, that's the normal way to eat. Like in my house.
That's so awesome. This
awesome.
should be the normal way to eat.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking.
It's like how are we eating crabs all the time?
Yeah, but it's awesome. And my parents at first, like they're used to it now, but they thought it was super weird. Like when my brother and I started, like they thought it was super weird, and like they're like, oh, they're like, oh, that's probably not good for you.
Oh, okay.
So they were, yeah.
When you first came across this diet, you just felt like interested, but your parents, they think this is kind of dangerous. So like,
oh yeah, definitely.
It's interesting that you guys have different mindset, because I guess like you get your mindset from your parents.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they think it's I think in their mind they're used to it now. They're like they think they're at the same. I think they're at the same point that I was at. Like they accept. Well, I don't think they're like. Here's what I mean. They accept that because they've seen me and Nick do it for a long time. They accept that it's like a real reality that people actually do it. But they will. I think they're still in the sense that like they can never see themselves doing it. They don't think it's for them. Like they can never imagine themselves actually doing something like this.
Okay.
So yeah.
I guess you guys have the same ideas, but you are like a more open-minded person.
Towards this stuff, yeah. Overall, yeah. Overall, yeah.
Mm,
Overall, yeah.
okay, I see. Also, next question. You have been actively sharing your diet on your social media. Do you also try to do this in real life? And why do you want to share?
Yeah. So in real life, I'm definitely happy to talk about it with anybody who wants to talk about it. I'm not shoving. I'm not like telling people like anybody I meet like, hey, by the way, like, hey, like, nice to meet you. I'm like, yeah, I eat only meat. I don't say that. You know? I don't say that. You know? I'm happy to talk about it with anybody, but if the conversation comes up, but
Oh, sure.
like
You
in
won't
this,
like go out of your way to talk
no, no,
about
no,
this.
no, no.
What if you see someone that looks unwell, like maybe physically or mentally? Would you want to try to like tell me that oh, you don't need to feel like this, or you are still going to wait for them to talk about this?
If they ask me for help, like it depends.
Oh, okay.
If I see somebody who's like, dude, like, I mean, all my coworkers at my last job, like 95% of them, like, were eating like shit. You know, I didn't ever said
Mm.
anything. I never really said anything.
Oh, okay, interesting.
If they ask me for help, if they ask me like for genuine help, or I can see that they're doing like horrible, if I see that they're having if
They
I see
don't
them,
need help.
then they need help, right? But like if they don't ask me for help, I'm usually not going to be like, hey, like you should probably
Mm.
like you know like I recommend like if they ask
Mm.
me for advice or if they ask me like, hey, like Zach, like what do you eat? Like what do you do? Like yeah, I'll gladly tell them. But
Sure.
but yeah, otherwise, like I just keep to myself, and I usually just
Mm.
tell people kind of by the actions I'm doing. Like back in my old job,
Mm.
I'm the only one bringing my food in, and like a lot of people know.
Mm.
And then at the end of that, like a lot of people knew I was only eating meat. You know, like I don't tell them to do the stuff, but I just show them what I'm doing, and like if they decide to get interested, they are, and if they aren't, they aren't. Um,
Oh, okay.
as far as
So
sharing them, yeah.
the reason that you don't actively talk to people in real life is it because you think that they're not going to want to trust you, like they're not going to want to change their paradigm?
Well, it's kind of that, but it's also like, well,
It's not
yeah,
your
I
business.
know if they're not actively like express interest, then yeah, I'm not gonna like bother somebody with advice that they didn't ask for.
That's
You know,
true. That's true.
like
Maybe
if
they don't
someone,
want it.
yeah, like if
Mm.
I'm going about my life and then like this person gives me advice that I didn't really ask for, it's kind of like weird. You know, like unsolicited
Who do
advice.
you think you are?
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, I don't care.
uh,
I didn't ask. So, I mean, and I totally get that. Like, I'm not gonna go out. Like, even if I see someone who's like super fat and like obviously super like who like would benefit like seriously though, like if someone would benefit from eating it in any different way, like any different way, like a person who's super like obese and like obviously super unhealthy, like even a person like that person switching to veganism would be like would be like 100 times better.
that's
Like
true.
I'm not gonna go and tell that person that, I'm not their family member, I'm not their close friend, so I'm
Mm,
just gonna be like,
mm,
hey man, have a good day. Like I don't know, like yeah.
mm.
Um,
I hope you like have a good day, but I hope you come across carnivore at one point
Yeah,
in your
like I
life.
hope, yeah, like you're like, really, man, or maybe I might think like, damn, that guy could benefit from like eating meat, probably only, or like eating whole foods, right? Like you're just eating like foods that aren't like ultra processed. But like I don't say that to him.
Okay, sure.
But the
I see.
reason why I share on social media is because I want to, I want to express more of myself on social media, and this is something I'm very, very interested in, and I want to share that with other people and share my experiences. um, I want, yeah, for a long time, for a very, very, very long time, I was just a kendama account, and I would only
Mm,
post kendama, and I think that's great. But I want to express more of myself than just a
mm.
kendama player, because
Give
kendama.
people a more complete picture.
Yes, exactly. Like I'm a kendama player, and that's a huge part of my identity, but it's not all of it. So I wanted to
Mm,
share more of the stuff that I'm interested in. So I've been
mm.
posting a lot about food, training, these different things, sharing my thoughts more. And I want people to know more of like the real me, right? Like,
Mm,
and some people, and obviously like I'm sharing stuff about meat. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions on meat and really tie a lot of politics into different opinions on food, and I've already lost a lot of followers from posting about meat.
uh,
I've already gotten a lot of comments like who of people who disagree with me. It's fine, but also like a lot of hate comments,
Mm-hmm.
posting meat, totally fine. At the end of the day, I only want people who like if people don't really like if people really like me for who I am and like are okay with this stuff and like even better, you know, if people don't want to follow me because they disagree with some of the stuff I'm posting, like that's totally fine because everything I post is true to my values and true to myself. And so it's totally fine. But the reason I share it is because I want to spread something that's been so impactful and so positive for me. And if I can help one person, which I have helped definitely more than one person, based on the messages I'm getting in my DMs and my comments, then I think that's huge. I just want to help people and share more and give people more of an insight into who I am.
Yeah. And I also feel like when you're sharing on social media, it's kind of like, although you are doing this kind of like in public, but it's kind of also passively at the same time because like people can choose not to receive it. Like if they see, oh, you're talking about meat, then they can bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like people can maybe make their own decisions. It's not like if you talk to them in real. Yeah, if you talk to them in real life, they have to sit there and listen to you.
Yeah, exactly. We have a choice to scroll by. But some people love arguing, dude. Some people love arguing on my posts. Like there's this couple accounts that love to say stuff.
Oh, that's true.
It is what it is, dude. It is what it is.
I think we feel too happy to shut up.
It's working fine. Like I'm just gonna keep sharing what's been working. So yeah.
Perfect. Nice. Okay, let's see. Have you influenced any kendama players to go carnivore? I guess you kind of talked about that before, or like no processed junk diet. I think that's already one so much better.
Yeah. So I definitely influenced a handful of people. I think it's been really, really cool to get messages that are, you know, I'm as a kendama player, I'm used to getting messages that are like, man, that trick was so awesome. You're so inspirational. Or, oh my God, you're so, that was so cool. Like you're so good. You know, keep going. Like really love your trick.
Maybe I'm one of those people.
Thank you, dude. But it's so cool to get messages now where I'm posting like different content, right? And now I'm getting messages like, dude, I've gotten a handful of messages like, Zack, like, oh my gosh, like I got a message the other day from Darlene. She's a really nice kendama player here in Florida. She lives in like Orlando, I think, or Tampa. And she messaged me a very, very long message saying like, Zack, like you changed, like this content you're posting, you changed my life. Like you changed my life for the better. Like because of you, I've been walking backwards. I posted ATG, so I've been walking backwards. My knees feel way better. And also I switched to meat and fruit, and I've never felt clear with my energy. I've never had more energy. I've never felt clear in my day. I also lost 10 pounds in the past 2 weeks. It's been a life-changing following you. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
And for me to affect one person like that, from not posting kendama, right? Like I'm a kendama, but I'm used to getting messages that are like, oh my God, like awesome trick, like really keep it up. And now it's like I'm affecting them on a deeper level, dude. Like I'm helping people, which is what I want to do when I share this up. If I know that I'm helping one person like her, like it makes it all so worth it. And I've gotten other messages too that are like, Zack, like I just started carnivore. I feel so amazing. Like this one guy from Kendama Senses, this account that is doing really, really cool stuff up in Netherlands. He messaged me and was like, man, I'm really curious about all meat, like how you like prioritize meat. I'm going to try it out. And I was like, okay, awesome, dude. I told him because it sounded like he wasn't really doing that. And he was kind of eating mostly vegetables, I think is what and he tried it out, dude. And he literally was like, yeah, man, it's amazing. I checked in 9 hours later and he was like, dude, it's amazing. I've had full energy the entire day. I've just been going. I haven't been hungry. I just full energy. My energy stays up. It's amazing. Okay. I'm like, dude, that's so awesome. And these different messages are coming in like, Zack, like I decided to eat this way. And also you inspire me to start working out and like work on handstands. Like keep it up, dude. Like this is super awesome. So I'm very, very happy with the, and those are just the people who are saying stuff. There are probably more people who aren't saying anything.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
More in DMing. They're taking my information, like they're using it to their own benefit, right?
They're thanking you privately.
Yeah, like it's really, really cool. So I think I've convinced people to try carnivore, to try prioritizing meat, to give it a shot. But yeah, dude.
Because they have been following you for a long time, so they know that Like you are not just a random
Yeah.
stupid dude on the internet. Like
Yeah.
you are a
Well,
person that actually exists.
exactly. Like people who follow me for a long time, they have a certain amount of trust. I've probably met them at an event,
Mm,
and it builds, and we already have a relationship, so they know me. So
yeah.
yeah, hopefully, most people who know me
Mm,
probably would think that I only post stuff that I believe in, like, and I have good
mm,
intentions and stuff. So yeah, then there are people who like obviously disagree, and that's totally fine. And yeah,
mm, okay. Any maybe more, I guess, professional canoe players? I think I saw Josh King eating raw meat. I'm not sure on
yeah.
someone's
So I was
story.
over at his house, and I convinced him to try it.
Oh, so it was just like for fun.
Yeah, he doesn't eat that way
Oh,
at
okay.
all. He doesn't eat that way.
Oh,
No, he doesn't.
okay.
I
But
think a lot
I
of
think he
people.
looks. I think he looks pretty happy, as far
Yeah,
as I
yeah, 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 yeah,
think.
yeah. I think a lot of people, like think that they can't, like it isn't for them, and they will not try it. But I hope more people try it. I genuinely hope more like professional canoe players try it. I think it would benefit probably. I mean, I would say almost all of them can benefit, right? Like yeah, almost all of them can. So I hope they do. But I don't know of any other professional canoe players who do it besides Nick.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because when I saw that story, I was like, okay, I think the whole kendama world is going to make a big change or something like that. Like, oh,
Yeah, that'd be
because
crazy to
you and
say.
Nick are pretty much only ED, so like everyone must trust you, something like that. Maybe it was because this thing was just too normal for me already. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel the way I felt. Why? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, okay. Let's move on. Let's see. Give me one sec. Oh, uh, are you still a little bit skeptical about your current diet, or you feel pretty confident? Do you think that you're going to change your diet in the future?
I as of right now, I'm not really skeptical at all. Um, but but in the future, I was actually having a conversation with my roommates last night, and we talked about this. And all my roommates pretty much only prioritize meat, but
Mm,
none of us. I don't think any of us are dogmatic to the approach that this is
uh,
like none of us are like this is the only way to eat, and if you don't eat this way,
uh,
fuck you. Like yeah, we don't. None of us think that. like none of us think that. We just find really good benefits on prioritizing meat and stuff. And like, dude, I live with a vegan. I live with an ex-vegan. Like, he used to be
mm,
vegan.
oh,
Well, so
so he
he has
experienced
full
like
perspective. Yes,
the
he is
full
amazing.
spectrum.
Yes, he is amazing perspective, dude. It's really really cool.
That's
Um,
interesting.
but yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like I could. I'm not gonna say I can't see myself switching my diet in the future. Like I will not say that because if you look it up, like there. I mean, I can't find that many, but there are some vegans who look like they're doing really well. There are some raw vegans who only eat plants and fruits, like and only things out of the ground, like not processed foods, no processed foods, like actually just raw vegans. There are some people who look really good. I don't think
Mm,
there's a lot, but there are some people who look really good. So who am I to say that they don't? And they're like, I'm talking. They're like 55 and they look like 35. You know.
mm,
Um, so I'm not going to say like what they're doing is not working. You know, because I mean on the surface it looks like they're doing fantastic. Like,
mm, mm,
so I can't say that I'm not going to switch my diet in the future or my modality of
mm,
eating. But right now, I'm not really that skeptical about it. And I feel good on it, and so I'm going to keep acting accordingly. And I think the entire time it's just going to be me reacting to what my body and listening to my body. Right. So if I am eating this way for a long time, and all of a sudden I feel less or I feel less good, I'll do some adjustments. I'll start experimenting and
mm,
trying stuff out, which is really cool. And I think,
mm,
and the one
mm,
more thing I will say on this too is with experimentation on this type of eating, right? Like it's really cool. And I was having this conversation with my brother last night. It's really cool how I can even say that. How it's like, oh, I'll adjust, I'll experiment, because a lot of people feel like shit and they don't even know what's happening because they're eating all these
mm.
different foods, all these different stuff. Whereas
Oh
me,
yeah.
like if I stick to meat, fruit, salt, honey, this stuff, I introduce something else, I know immediately what it was. You know, I know
Mm,
immediately. It's not like, oh, maybe I had like too much, like, oh my God, like I don't know, I ate like a donut and I also ate pizza and I also ate like bagel bites. I also ate steak and I also had vegetables. Like, no, it's like
So maybe it was the steak.
yeah. So it's like all this stuff, but in reality, if I stick to this way of eating, I immediately know what it is. So it's really cool.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. Oh, do you sometimes eat the things that you think are not that ideal? And what's your opinion on doing that?
Yeah, I do. I do, but it's very rare. I usually choose to eat the foods that I'm eating right now 95% of the time, like 95%. Like it's very rare that I eat stuff outside of that. I don't like, but I guess I'm kind of thinking in terms of like junk food right now. But if I were to I don't know, like my roommate makes really yummy, and you know him, Andres. He makes really awesome like ice cream, where he makes it. It's all out of like Whole Foods. It's honestly like healthy ice cream, pretty much. It's really good, but like I have like a bite of that, and I don't have any. I choose to eat it. It tastes amazing, but yeah, I think for me, I just eat what I think I feel good on, and like if I if I go home and like my mom makes like some foods that aren't in that category, like if she makes like a I don't know, like a healthier dessert too. I can only think of the stuff. Like she makes desserts with like whole foods and like good ingredients, like really good ingredients. But if I have like a bite of that, like I don't really care. Like it's fine because I'm so comfortable now with what I choose to do and what I choose not to do. It's very easy for me to say no. It's very easy for me to say like choose to eat like something that's outside of meat, fruit, and eggs and stuff. But yeah, right now when I choose to eat that type any of that stuff, it's fine. But I usually choose to eat the foods that I know make me feel my best, which are meat, fruit, eggs, that stuff.
So the things that you said that are not that ideal, I think those are still whole food things, right? You don't really eat processed anymore.
Right. Like I'm like in ideal is like ideal for me, like I think that sticking with fruit and meat is really good. But like if I don't know, if I had some rice, like I wouldn't be freaking out, like I wouldn't be like, oh no, like oh my God, like I wouldn't really care. Like yeah.
But you don't eat like things like ice cream.
No.
No. Okay. Unless it's like something super special.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
or you don't think you're ever going to put that in your mouth.
It doesn't have to be like super special. If I want it, I'll eat it, but I almost never want to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. By the way, I was talking about like standard ice cream, not the ones that your friends make.
Right. No, yeah, still, yeah. If I want it, I will, but I almost never want to. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, awesome. How do you go about staying on track while socializing? And did you start to socialize less after going on this pretty much only meat diet?
No, I'd say I'd socialize about the same. Socialize definitely the same. I was already hanging out with like for me, like I'm hanging out with like similar people, and it's not like everybody knows that I'm kind of the way I am with the way I eat, and so people are pretty used to it. So yeah, and no, I'd say socializing definitely didn't go down. It was just the same. I wouldn't say I'm not a person who's like going out. Like I'm not a person who goes out a ton. Like I don't go out and drink. I don't go out and eat food at restaurants pretty much ever. So it's easy for me to stay on track. Like it's easy.
So like your socializing activities have always been like not related to food, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if I go out to eat with somebody, I usually pick a restaurant that I know I can.
I'm the same.
Like, oh, let's go out to eat. I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'll pick it. I'll pick the place because I'll look at the menu. I'll look at the menu and I'll see if they have something that I want to eat. So like,
sure. You can work around it if you have a clear goal.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about traveling? So
traveling's interesting.
How do you stay on track?
Yeah. Well, traveling for me is not going to be hard. Like I always make sure I have a place I can cook at. So I usually buy an Airbnb.
Oh, awesome. Well,
because they have a kitchen, and so because of that, I can go to the grocery store and like get the foods I would normally eat. Nothing's a problem. So there's that. Number two, the option to dehydrate steak is really powerful. My brother did that for KWC, and I did that when I went to Christian Fraser's wedding 2 months ago. I brought a bag of dehydrated meat, and it got me really well throughout the weekend. And the final like star in that whole thing is raw meat. You don't need to cook it. So you could go to a hotel, you could buy raw meat, and you could just put salt on it and eat it. You could just eat it without salt. But like that takes the
What are you talking about? That's dangerous.
dude. It's so awesome, dude. It's like I buy an Airbnb so I can cook my food, or I bring food from home, or it's like fuck, I don't even need to cook food. I can just go to the grocery store, buy some raw meat, and I'll eat it. Like because I know that's safe, because I know that actually is doing me good. And by the way, one thing I'll say on this, raw meat gives you the best digestion you could ever ask for. I'm not kidding. And I know you know that. Like just for people who ever listen to this, raw meat gives you the best digestion you could ever ask for, and you will never understand until you actually try it. It's amazing. That's the best food you can
I didn't really experience like benefits in digestion, but I definitely, because I guess I didn't try a lot. Yeah. Like I wouldn't say that it made a change in anything. Yeah, because I just started to like incorporate a little bit. But I definitely noticed that I started to crave it a little bit recently. So when I'm cooking my beef, sometimes I just eat the beef immediately, like in its raw form. Yeah. So I think I try to listen to my body. Like my body is trying to tell me something when I crave it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm not going to talk about raw meat today because I think that's going to like take too much time. Okay. I think we are coming to the end. So, what resources would you recommend people to check out if they want to learn more about this crazy way of eating?
Yeah, so the one resource that I really like is Conscious Carnivore. His name's Jordan Potts. He's a guy I'm connected with.
Is he a former big guy?
No.
I feel like I know him. Like I mean, like, was he formerly overweight?
No.
Oh no. Okay. Maybe
Well, he might have been like he's definitely in way better shape now, but like he wasn't overweight. Jordan Potts, Conscious Carnivore 1.0 on Instagram is really good. I would also say for more of like he's not a doctor, but doctors that I would recommend. I really like Dr. Anthony Chaffee. He's the way he presents his information, the way he presents himself is very, very respectable, very calm, very straight to the point. You can get his podcast as Plant Free MD on Spotify. He's a very good guide and he's YouTube clips too. He does interviews with people who make amazing transformations. He's debated vegan doctors. He has other he chats with other people in the carnivore industry, the meat-only industry. Like it's very, very, very cool. And people share with him experiences all the time of their transformations from whatever they were eating and whatever sickness and whatever like disease they were going through, and how carnivore like really helped, which I think is really cool that he highlights those experiences, because the more experiences that are highlighted from those, the more popular this modality of eating will be, and hopefully the more healthier people will get. So I really like him. So Conscious Carnivore, Jordan Potts, Plant Free MD, Paul Saladino, I like him too, but I like Anthony Chaffee a little better just because, well, Paul Saladino is more popular. So yeah, go take a look at him. He's good. I like his content genuinely. He's not full carnivore, but he eats meat and fruit. So there's that. Other than that, I have another great resource, and she's actually a woman. So I also would recommend reading Sacred Cow by Rob Wolf. I'm not finished with it yet, but it's a really good book. It's on the whole truth about meat. So I would go look at that, Sacred Cow. And then
does he have social media?
Yeah, his name is Rob Wolf. He's the founder of LMNT, which is an electrolyte supplement.
Really?
I actually take that supplement every day, and I have for the past like 3 years. So there's that, and one other carnivore research I would recommend is Joanne Ozug. You can find her podcast at The Road to Carnivore. It's a woman, and she has an amazing episodes on carnivore. It's from a woman's perspective. It's really cool. She highlights her story of how she comes to carnivore, but also things that only women understand. So like carnivore through pregnancy, carnivore with their hormones, things like that men don't really understand. So yeah, from a woman's perspective, it's really cool too. Yeah. And yeah, that's
can you repeat what you just said? Like, from a woman's perspective, it's cool. And what was the next sentence?
Yeah, from like a woman's perspective, it's really cool. Like, so like carnivore through pregnancy, and then like with their hormones that like obviously we don't understand as guys, just how carnivore affects women,
Sure.
So yeah, it's really cool to have a woman's perspective. And there's other carnivore people who are women also. Steak and Butter Gal, I think on Instagram, Steak and Butter Gal. She's that, and she has a really compelling, really cool story. She's been a carnivore for many years, and she seems to be thriving. So definitely worth checking out.
That's interesting.
I know. No, but I was so crazy. No, but dude, I think at the end of the day, like people can think about what they want about carnivore, but until they've actually researched it and really researched the experiences that people have shared. Two, pay attention to these people who are sharing the experiences. If they seem like they're thriving and seem like they're really like having an amazing life, then I think it would be stupid not to at least consider what they're saying. And three, overall, experience it for yourself. Then you'll really know. But of course, if you don't really look into it and really give it a chance, then you'll always stay unaware and in the box that you put yourself in. So, yeah. But those are the resources I'd say to check out.
Awesome. Okay. I noticed that Dr. Chaffee is following you. Does that mean that we are going to see an interview between you and him soon?
That would be fucking epic. That'd be sick. But like,
I wouldn't be, honestly, I wouldn't be like, how should I say this? I think that you are going to have a good story to share because like you're like an athlete, I guess. Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, he followed me the other day. It was actually amazing. Like I was like, oh my god.
Oh, you didn't expect that?
No, not at all.
Oh, it's
not at all.
Okay,
that dude doesn't follow everybody. Like I think he followed me because I don't know. I made a video for ATG, my transformation for me on crutches to me now, and he follows the guy who reposted me. So I think he followed me. But yeah. So yeah, but I mean, hey, like really cool, and maybe like now I can like shoot him a question and maybe he'll respond to me, right? So yeah. Awesome. So hopefully, yeah. If I could speak with him about carnivore, that'd be huge. So yeah, maybe one day. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I think one of my life goals, or like it's not too big. That word is too big, but I think it's going to be very interesting if I can come on a carnivore YouTuber's show and talk about my experience.
Dude, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm going to try making content to let people see me.
Dude, yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. I hope you can inspire more people in Taiwan to follow in your footsteps.
Hopefully.
Dude, are you thinking of making a story video in Taiwanese about
in Taiwan? Have I made it? I think I have made it. But like I haven't posted it. I need to like add subtitles.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, because I feel like people in my country tend to watch videos with subtitles.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, dude, you should post that.
It takes a lot of time. So, cool, yeah. And I have been really enjoying making my English videos recently. So that's my like focus. I put more of my focus on that now.
Let's go. Hey, yeah, dude, that's awesome. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm liking the videos.
I just want to say that one of the reasons that I decided to do this recently was because I want to like help you guys maybe like put the truth out there.
Help spread the message.
I'm searching for words now. Yeah, I think that I want to help you guys maybe. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, the more people, I mean, dude, and you're coming from a very value. You're coming from your own like experience too. It's not like you're just sharing this for whatever. You have your own story with this too, and that's like really cool. How you can confidently talk about this in the same way that me and my brother are talking about it. That's very life-changing. It's very impactful, and you've had an amazing experience. And yeah, dude, I'd love to see a video kind of you going over your experience, and obviously in English, but like maybe first, like maybe you already have it filmed in Taiwanese, so maybe that one first. But like, yeah, I would love to. I'd love to hear it, dude. And people, you never know who's gonna watch it and get help from you. So
sure. Like you said, like if I can help one person, then that's a win.
It's a win. It's a fucking huge win. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And that person that is helped is going to help other people moving on. So like, it's just awesome. Okay, I guess like those were all the questions, like important questions for today. Yeah. Let's see. I prepared some like random questions, but let's see. Maybe I am just going to go over a few.
Okay.
Let's see. What do you think will happen if Takuya went carnivore?
Oh my god. That'd be crazy.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Takuya is Zack. How would you describe it?
The best Kendama player in the world.
Okay, no question.
No question. It's actually not even a question. He's easily,
Maybe he has been secretly carnivore throughout his whole life.
It makes sense. No, I mean, for a Japanese person to go carnivore, that's almost, I can't even imagine that. I literally can't.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Why so?
Because they're so, I should look that up. I should really look that up if there's actually one that exists. I think there probably is, but yeah. I mean, the culture over there, I mean, they
But yeah, I feel like I'm also one of the very, very few people in Taiwan that does.
You definitely are.
So
you are. Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, Japan and Taiwan are pretty somewhat similar, I guess.
I mean, you could probably explain this better than me if the cultures are anywhere similar with each other. But like in Japan, like there's a lot of great things about the culture, but I think they tend to stick to what they know. Like the norm is so. I think the norm is very powerful there, and if people kind of deviate out of it, it's like, oh, what the hell are you doing? You know?
So is Nick having a hard time there?
Yeah.
He's having a hard time.
Well, not a hard time, but he's not understood. Like nobody understands it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nobody understands.
He can only teach people by his actions and like the results.
Yeah, and nobody understands his actions. So yeah.
Okay. That's but he's around many like young children every day, and I think it's especially important for them to eat more meat. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, are you single now?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to be with a girl that eats a standard diet?
Well, I yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, dude, like I was in a relationship for 6 months last year. My ex-girlfriend, she ate pretty standard. Like she wasn't eating like crazily bad. Like she wasn't eating like a ton of ultra processed shit, but like she would eat like kind of like whatever she wanted, like whatever she wanted in the sense that like the average person does. So she liked to eat like stuff like ramen and like sushi and all these different things, which is totally fine. I mean, I never told her to be like, all right, you have to eat this way. No, I mean, obviously if she was eating like absolute shit, then I would probably be like, what are you doing? Right. Or like, maybe I don't even know if I would be in a relationship with that person in the first place, to be honest with you. Like, who knows? Maybe I would.
Oh,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It depends on how I feel about this person. Right. But like,
sure.
But
because maybe you can tell that you can change this person. Like this person is open-minded enough. And
yeah, if they're interested and I know they're interested, like okay, like yeah, like but like overall, like would I date a person with a standard diet? Like yeah, I already have, and like for me going forward, like it would be I honestly feel like I would hopefully be with somebody who's open-minded enough to kind of consider what I'm saying seriously. So yeah,
I mean, respect you.
Yeah, totally. Like they don't have to be as intense as me. They don't have to be that, but if they understand,
but hopefully,
I mean, if they are like cool, like but if they can really understand where I'm coming from and they actually hear me out and hopefully try it themselves a little bit, then that's great.
Yeah, awesome. And just to make sure, when you were still with her, you weren't on this crazy all meat diet, right? You were just eating like cleaner.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So at the time, you already would try to tell her that you shouldn't eat this.
No, I wouldn't like. I mean, like maybe like jokingly, like sometimes, like if she.
Oh, sure.
Like jokingly, but I would never be like, "Hey, you shouldn't eat that," or like, "Hey, like that's what are you doing?" I would never be like that. I think
you would imply her. I guess
maybe sometimes, but like usually I would
very
just
slightly.
maybe sometimes, but like overall, she wasn't eating like she was eating foods. She was eating foods that I would never eat, but like it wasn't like horrible. If that makes sense. Like she wasn't like just
it wasn't too crazy in your book.
It wasn't that crazy. Like I think honestly, dude, like if we were living together, then I would be like, if I was like to live with someone like that, I'd be like, okay, like then I would be more like, all right, you should like chill out. Like if they were eating like absolute shit. If they're eating like
because you get to see every one of their meals.
Yeah, because now it's like my environment, you know. Like now it's my environment, and like if I'm living with this girl that I care this much about, that I'm living with her, then I'm gonna want the best for her, and then I'm gonna want to, you know, I'm gonna want her. Like I want her to be healthy and happy and live a long, fulfilling life, and that food plays a huge role in that. So if this person's feeding herself like shit, then I'm gonna be like, all right, let's try and improve. Like I would do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the factors was also that you weren't living with her, so
I think looking back right now, if I was living with her, I'd probably be more like intense about it. But like this time now, like yeah, and obviously like she wasn't eating like shit. Like if she was eating like shit, then I would be like, yeah, like what are you doing? But she wasn't eating like horribly bad. Like she was eating like pretty decent, to be honest. So yeah.
Okay. I just try to tell my girlfriend that if you want to have better skin or like there are better options, but you can keep eating whatever you want. But I just want to let you know this.
Yeah.
And I think she's an open-minded person, so that's why I want to be with her in the first place. Yeah, because I want to have children in the future, and I want my children to be healthy. So of course, the mother has to be on a good diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like at one point, if I am going to maybe like marry her, she's definitely going to have to change, or I have to find another girl.
I totally respect. I totally get it, dude. I totally 100%.
Yeah. So, do you want to have children in the future, and what foods are you going to give them?
Yeah, definitely in the future for sure. Kids, yeah. Hopefully, like more than one. Like definitely at least two.
Awesome.
Definitely two would be good. And if I were to feed them right now, I'd probably only feed them animal foods.
Oh, really? Okay. Would you give them would you show them like plants and let them choose, or you would not even bother them?
No, I would just I would just
animal foods.
I would just feed them what I'm eating right now. Like they would eat the same thing.
Sure.
Like,
I see. Yeah. And that's also like more time saving for you.
Yeah. But also but more than that, like I want the best for their health, and I feel like, and I've seen parents do this too. I've seen parents do this with their kids, and their kids are doing amazing. So yeah,
like the fact that you don't have to eat vegetables is just going to increase your mental health so much.
Yeah, it's like nobody wants to actually eat, but nobody actually likes vegetables anyways.
We should still be open-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I agree with you. Okay, let's see. A favorite junk food in the past?
Oh, bro. Sour gummy bears, and then also ice cream, dude. Ice cream, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it feel talking about them now? Do you miss them?
I don't really miss them, but I remember the feelings that I had when I ate them, and that's like, oh shit, yeah, that felt pretty good.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. How often do you play kendama now, and what kendama tricks have you been working on?
Yeah, so right now I actually play probably less than I ever have. I don't play that, like in the comparison to like in the past. I actually don't play that much. I probably play about like oh man, like I don't play that much right now. I probably per week I'm probably playing like I don't know, like dude, per week I probably play like less than an hour. So I'm not playing that much right now. I'm prioritizing a couple different things in my life. But I mean, Battle of the Border is coming up, so I'll be playing more for that, like Nashville.
When's that?
So, yeah, Battle of the Border.
When is that?
Oh, January 26th.
Oh, okay. So you are going to start practicing more later.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what? So you haven't been working on any specific tricks recently?
Well, not really, but the Kendomanomics app just came out. Yeah, the Kendomanomics app just came out, so I'm doing those. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I also started to play kendama less. and I think it's because of the diet. I think that's pretty interesting because I feel like in the past when I was playing kendama, I was just trying to I felt this nothingness in my mind. I really needed to feel FILL, and so. But right now I'm just generally more satisfied, so I don't really need to play it to make me feel better or like post tricks on my Instagram to like get feedback to like get what is that called?
Dopamine?
No.
Comments? Likes?
Like just damn, I forgot. Like
we're all good.
people want that. Validation.
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah. I really needed validation before, but right now I still love kendama. In fact, I have a tattoo involving kendama on my hand, forearm. So I think cannot taught me many things, but right now I also don't really play it a lot. Yeah. So I think that's pretty interesting, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I guess that's pretty much it. Can you give us a banger?
A banger? Dude, I don't.
Yeah.
Dude, I would, but all my roommates are sleeping, so I don't think I should.
Oh, okay. Any other final words?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Leo, thank you so much, dude. This is really cool. I'm really happy that we were able to do this. I don't know where you're going to post this, but of course, when you post it, let me know so I can share it. And then,
Sure.
yeah, man. I mean, last thing I'll say about this whole, I guess I'll stick with the topic of this interview. Like, I just want to encourage people to look into it. I don't even want to say try it at this point. Just look into it and make that decision by yourself based on the stuff that you see other people have the results of. Don't go to, look up at different sources that you've never seen before, consider all sides, and just look into carnivore, look it up, and then look up prioritizing meat. And Google says that red meat is like bad for you, but Google,
that must be true.
Google says a lot of things, and to a lot of people, and I do value that, science is important, but I heard a really good quote is that, if we stick to the science and we follow the science and we wait for the science, we'll be 10 years too late. So the best information you can get for yourself is experience, and you can only get experience with carnivore one way, is by doing it. So with everything too, but for just pertaining to this topic, try it out, try incorporating more meat maybe, and just look into it. So yeah, I hope this podcast helps somebody. And thank you again, Leo, dude. Appreciate it, man.
Okay. I just want to tell the listeners right now that this guy can actually lay fingers. It's not like he was making excuses. So, Zack, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. I really enjoyed talking with you, and I hope you did too. And final thing I want to tell our listeners is that no matter what you think about our talk today, just remember this: processed foods are bullshit. So bye bye. See you.